Today I'm going to talk to you how college affects students. Pasquarelli and Terrazzini developed 8 student outcomes and how colleges affect students, ranging from between colleges, within colleges, and even after colleges. Um, One of the outcomes that interested me the most because I feel I was able to relate to it the most was attitude and values. Um, Throughout my higher education career, I was able to see my attitude and value for education kind of increase and kind of I was able to appreciate, the value of getting educated, being educated, being a first generation student, being educated. One of the things that I was able to do was I was able to have pride in what I was doing, being a first generation student, setting an example for my family. So I think attitude and values was the one that interested me the most because I was able to relate to it in a personal aspect. Um, One of the things that they mentioned was 6 questions. Within each area, they Pasquarelli and Terenzini they asked themselves 6 specific questions. Um, Two of those being within the college and between the colleges. So within the college effect, one of the things that I wanted to kind of have more information about was, does a student's academic major demonstrate or show the level of involvement and civic responsibility that they have? For example, Mayhe suggests that majoring in engineering can result in a negative approach towards civic values. This is something that I saw kind of interesting because being in a 4 year university, I was able to see the kind of different um, socio ecosystems within the colleges because of this, students' different academic majors. And then between the college effect, I wanted to see if a student's attitude and value changed, whenever they're transferring from a community college to a 4 year college. From my experience, I believe I appreciated, um, student involvement a lot more whenever I was able to go to a 4 year college where I was able to, live on campus, compared to a community college to where school spirit wasn't very a big thing for me. It was just kind of off. I saw community college as a expensive high school. That's kind of how I saw it. Mostly, I was mostly a commuter, so personally, the transition from community college to a 4 year university changed my perspective and attitude towards education, especially becoming more involved. Aikston's AEO theory was very interesting to me because it was able to put together input and environment, which will equal out the outcome. The income he described as qualities a person brings into an education. Some examples can be the demographic, race, financial status, academic major, and things that they kind of bring with them already into the institute. The environmental factors can be what a student actually experiences at the university or educational program. Some examples were student organizations, the institute culture, the institute population, the teaching style, and then the influence of their peers. Adding together the input and the environment, when you add those two together, they come up with the outcome. What's the outcome of the income? I mean, the input and the environment of a student when they're in a specific educational program. That could be the outcome can be a GPA, having a high GPA, degree completion, loan debt, or even dropping out in some cases. From my personal experience, my college experience, my input was I was a first generation student. I mentioned earlier I was a transfer student. I started my college career off at a community college and then transferred over to Sam Houston State University. I came from a low income family and I am a Hispanic male. From the environmental aspects that I saw whenever I was in college, I was a community criminal justice major. I was a co-founder of the National Organization of Hispanics and Community Justice. I was a member of the Omega Delta Phi fraternity, and I attended Sam Houston State University. Putting those two together, input and environment, I was able to pick up a minor. Before I attended a university, I did not have a minor. I was not interested in psychology, but after building connections and taking specific classes, I gained a very big interest in psychology to the point where I made it a minor. And one of the outcomes was I was able to build lifelong friendships with people, and I also was able to complete my criminal justice degree. So Ashton's theory with students, it's very very interesting. As an academic advisor, his theory helps academic advisors tailor the needs and resources of specific students. All students are going to have issues and challenges, but not all students are going to have the same issue and challenges. So I believe that Ashton's theory helps those in the student affairs department kind of tailor and develop plans to help students achieve their academic goals. I believe that student involvement theory is the time and energy a student puts into their academics, how involved, how invested, and how motivated they are towards education. That's what I think Ashton's involvement theory kind of comes in the grand scheme of things. Involvement that enhances a student's experience. A place of residence has an enormous effect on a student's college experience. Like I mentioned earlier, when I was a commuter, I was not very involved in college and school. I would just go to school and come back home. That's that's the kind of the way I handled school. I would just go to school and then come back home. But after I transferred to Sam Houston State University and was able to um, go to campus and kind of live the college life, I guess, I became so much more involved. I joined organizations. I helped bring an organization. So I know for a fact that a place of residency has a huge effect on a student's experience, well, a student's college experience. Thank you guys, and I'm glad. I hope I was able to inform you guys a little bit about how colleges affect students.